Discussion, ladies and gentlemen. This is about performance marketing 3.0, leveraging AI and data for performance-driven campaigns. I'll repeat the topic once again for you all for this upcoming panel discussion. This is about performance marketing 3.0, leveraging AI and data for performance-driven campaigns. I'll introduce our honorable moderator first, and then I'll be calling our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, to moderate this session, we have the pleasure of having with us today Devang Shah, Chief Business Officer, Consumer, Industrials and Commerce, Dentsu, India. A huge round of applause for Mr. Devang, please, ladies and gentlemen, as he joins us over here. And to join him on stage, we have Anuj Sriraj, Digital Activation Lead, Reckitt, Ben Kizzer. I hope I got the pronunciation right. Ben Kizzer, right? Yeah. Can I have Anuj Sriraj, Digital Activation Lead, Reckitt, Ben Kizzer, India on stage? A huge round of applause for him as well, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'll request Jatin Kapoor, Managing Director, Ads Flourish on stage as well, please. Jatin ji ke liye bhi bajaiye zor se taali, everybody, please. Thank you so much, sir. We also have with us today Mayank Saxena, Group Head of Marketing, Rupee 112 and Bharat Loan. A huge round of applause for Mayank ji as well. I request Nishit Mohan, co-founder, Lixel and Flamingo on stage as well, please. Nishit ji ke liye bhi bajaye, everybody. People over there at the back, zor se taali. Thank you. We also have with us today Robin Samuel, VP Marketing, India Mart, Intermesh on stage. Huge round of applause for Mr. Robin. And we also have with us today Sushrut Pant, Head Marketing, Shree Cement as well. Give a huge round of applause for Mr. Sushrut as well. Thank you so much. Devang ji, the stage is yours. The panel is ready. Hello. And over to you. Thank you.
Right. Thanks for the introduction. And let me start off by thanking everyone on the panel for giving their time. Right. It's a very interesting topic, performance marketing 3.0, and in the context of data and AI. The world we live in today has changed, and we've been saying this for many years, but it's truly changing now with the advent of artificial intelligence, particularly given the fact how Gen AI has of late been influencing our lives. Sometimes we are aware, and sometimes obviously we are not even fully aware the extent to which AI plays a role in our day-to-day life. We have, I would say, a very, very qualified panel here to answer some of the questions. And what I'm going to do, given the fact that we have 20 minutes is what I can see, so I'm going to quickly get started. Anuj, I'll start with you, right? If you could just lay out the landscape for us entirely, right? Anuj, you're a part of an FMCG company, and really FMCG cuts across different target groups, different segments of society. How is AI impacting performance marketing at a broad level? If you could get a start on that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
I don't think. Yeah.
Thanks for asking this question. Okay. I would like to start this with my quick experience from my time when I was a campaign manager, and I was setting up a campaign, and I forgot to allocate a budget between the creatives. And during the midnight, I woke up, and again I did the changes in the setup and doing the optimization to get the desired optimization and results. And that was the traditional way of managing the campaign. But now, thanks to AI, that such kind of situation don't exist. Okay, I'm starting this because we have seen, or I have seen, that how the industry has evolved from the medium planning to the reach planning to the audience planning, and now the automation-led planning. Today, I'm actually going to break a misconception about the performance marketing sort of automation and AI-led performance marketing. Whenever we hear this word, that performance marketing, what sort of metrics comes in our mind? It always be CTR, it always be ROAS, it always be lead, it always be like bounce rate, time spent sort of things, all typical lower funnel metrics. But in Reckitt, we believe that the performance metric is not only for the lower funnel. And we have actually adopted the entire performance marketing and created the performance marketing with the help of AI across the funnel, which is a typical media marketing funnel, which is awareness, consideration, and lower funnel. We talked about lower funnel. We know all about that, how AI is helping there. It's like Google AI tool, which is Performance Max, helping the driving the ROAS. Meta introduced that audience advantage plus to again to help the ROAS. Have been proven the things like creative optimization, real-time optimization, audience optimization, placement optimization, and improving on the ROAS perspective or lower funnel, and they are scaling up, right? But in Reckitt, what we did, we actually termed as performance marketing, which performs not only the lower metrics, but in the upper funnel also. And how? And how this has been done by us, and we have used the AI, starting from the planning stage till the execution. How? Okay. On the planning stage, we have now AI tool to identify the audience through Google DV360 Persona AI tool. And of course, then we have creative-led. Reckitt has a creative-led, customized creative AI tool, which gives you a score, which optimizes the creative, which gives that, okay, this is the past performing. This creative will work and this creative will not work. The 90% above score will go on live, and below 90 score will discard it. And of course, interestingly, what is happening right now, we are actually one of the few FMCG companies in the country that has adopted the AI actually into the execution. We have actually analyzed the entire execution because the entire thing is happening at the execution level, where we are optimizing the campaign, creative performance, weights, and everything is happening right there. But what we have actually found out that while doing so, we have actually registered a growth of the business from 2.2 to 3.2%. We have actually increased the ad recall from 3% to 11 or 12% in some cases in some brands. And most importantly, what we have actually registered that 17% to 21% sort of savings back to the company. Okay. Now, this all happened because when we analyzed the AI into the upper funnel, and of course, we talked about lower funnel, we talked about upper funnel, but what is coming up next in the Reckitt as well, like we are building up the tool with a lot of partners in the consideration phase also, with the middle funnel, where we are actually building up this, how we can increase the consideration also from the upper funnel, middle funnel, and lower funnel.
Right. So what I hear, if I were to summarize, is that you have been implementing across the funnel.
Yes.
In fact, I would say even at a strategy phase, when you talk about personas,
Yeah.
right, building the personas, and then upper, middle, and lower.
Yes. Yes.
And so across the funnel in the strategy phase and seeing results in each part of the funnel and hence in totality. Would that be fair to say?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Super.
Great. So thanks. This is very
Thank you.
interesting. One of the critical points that I think Anuj talked about is data, right? And how they've been sort of looking at data in order to build this entire story. But one of the challenges I think that will come up as we go forward is that Google has been planning to pull the plug on cookies, right? And it's been planning to do it well. It's been saying that it's going to do it for a while. I don't know when it will happen, but it will eventually happen. And when that happens, how do brands and how do sort of agencies work with clients in order to still deliver the sort of productivity with campaigns that is expected, right? It's expected to drop. If suddenly cookies go away, what happens? And we have two gentlemen here, Jatin and Nishit. Both of them have backgrounds with agencies. So I'm going to invite them. First, let me start off with Jatin. Jatin, in the cookieless world, to what extent does data and AI save us from the plunge that is widely being expected in marketing productivity?
Perfect. I think, Devang, thank you so much. I think it's a great question. Hello?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
I think it's a great question. What I believe that, yes, there has been news for a while that cookies will go away. But what I firmly believe, especially for the marketeers, that even if the third-party cookies, third-party data is not there, the marketeers probably are sitting on a gold mine, which means that they already have so much data, which we call it as a first party data, which is available in-house with them. Say, for example, they get a lot of attributes from their website, as user behavior, their browsing history. Their CRM has a lot of inputs where they see service done, and then the what kind of preferences the users are giving. So all these data probably can be used to reach out to the end customer. Also, it improves engagement, it improves retentions. I always say that acquiring a user is, is of course is very important. But when you lose a user because he goes because you're not able to engage with the user is like a disaster. So if you are able to engage with that user with help of your first party data, that can actually help in more engagement and retention with the user. So to question and to summarize the answer, first party data is something which marketeers should work on and should leverage, because that is which always stays with them. And irrespective, cookies come, cookie go, Google changes policies, but this will always stays, which will be a gold mine for a lot of marketers.
Right, perfect, thanks. Nishit, I'll invite you to come in more from a technology perspective as well. So what Jatin is saying is essentially first party data is gold, right? And बना लो वरना फंस जाओगे, ठीक है? When cookies go. So again, you come from a more technology perspective, Jatin. Nishit. So your perspective on this: once the cookies go away, what happens? And then how do you sort of, how do you build and then make sure that privacy is not violated, particularly given AI, right? So you're going to feed in all this data into AI, and then how do you not violate, how do you know that AI does not violate privacy, but delivers marketing productivity?
Very interesting question. So the first bit is with...
I don't think the mic...
Hello? Yeah. So very interesting question, first of all. I'll kind of continue with what Jatin was saying. While you have a lot of tools that kind of allow you to collect first-party data, and that's one part of the story where you have customers visiting your website, your assets, where you can collect all of this information. The second part of the story is that while Google is deprecating cookies, and we've heard this for a very long time, like you were saying, but at the end of the day, they have to give somebody a mechanism to market to the audience. Essentially, Google is a marketing company. It's something that's, while they talk about privacy and cookies and everything, they're not going to stop this overnight, and they're not going to give you a mechanism for doing this. So there are a lot of mechanisms out there that help you do things like this. There's the Google Topics API that kind of, isolates users on a topic by topic level, which means that Devang may be interested in maybe, let's say, fast cars. I'm sorry, I'm taking the liberty here. But, and maybe Jatin is interested in Burberry glasses. but here's the thing. So there is this data that's present on your devices. It's in your browsing history. Cookies made it very, very bad in a way that, anybody could read these cookies and they could, get data out of it. Now what's happening is that, because devices have gotten more powerful, and you can have on-device processing, and you can have small machine learning models that kind of, isolate this data on a separate level. So you can subscribe, or you can have interest in certain topics, and the marketers can, reach out to you using the interest in these topics or affinity to these topics, and without violating the privacy of the user who is using these devices, and without actually using any cookies in the first place. So there is a way out, while it's not really something that's picked up very, very big right now. And there are a lot of platforms that are, third-party platforms. You have your DSPs that, like Cargo was here, I believe. They were talking about it. There are a lot of such platforms that give you a way out in a cookieless world. So there are many, many solutions to this, one of which what Jatin was talking about, and you have your tools that will still continue to function. Your Google, your Meta, everyone else has a mechanism to do this. But it's not the end of the world for us.
Right, thanks Nishit. And since we are on the topic of first party data, we have Robin also here. Robin is a part of India Mart, right? And in the B2B world, I don't think anybody has more first-party data than India Mart would. So, Robin, two questions here. One, and I'm going to pose the same question that I posed Nishit as well. One, with so much first-party data, when you feed it into artificial intelligence to either drive performance marketing campaigns, or in your case, you also have a marketing platform yourself, right, which customers can use to market. How do you ensure, A, that it doesn't violate privacy? Because with AI, very often when you have not created the algorithm, you don't really know what you're giving in, how it's going to use elsewhere, right? And whether it will violate or not. And second, as a platform itself, a lot of marketeers are now simply relying on AI from Google and Facebook itself, right? So you put in the data, you give it a PMAX campaign, you give it the objective. I don't know what konsa channel use karega, maybe display network, maybe YouTube or something. But in the end, it will deliver the ROAS, right? So how do you as a platform then say that here is Google, which has so much data, and how do I compete with it? So those two questions to you, Robin. I think you'll have to switch on the mic as well. Nishit, can you share your mic?
Hello. First, let me introduce the scale of the platform. We are India's largest B2B marketplace, roughly about 1 lakh category of products, starting from a JCP to a bulk purchase of a t-shirt. So, huge amount of categories. And there is roughly about 20 crore registered buyers, 4.5 crore visit the platform every month, 90 lakh plus requirements that happens on the platform. So there is a lot of data that happens on the platform. This data is more lower funnel than what you will generally see it on a Google or a Meta kind of a platform. For example, hey, I want to buy a JCB machine. Google will know maybe you want to buy a JCB machine. But Google will not know whether the buyer who is looking for the product, is he looking for a 10-ton JCB or is he looking for a 25-ton JCB? And that makes all the difference. One, for the sellers on the platform for us. So we have the other side of the platform, we have 80 lakh sellers, 2 lakh paid sellers, starting from enterprise client like Shashank, who uses for the cement category to a Tata for a commercial motors, to huge amount of MSMEs using the platform. For a large amount of MSMEs, we are their first and the only performance marketing partner for them. So, so how do you match make becomes very important. So first question that we're trying to ask is that we have a lot of unique first party data because we understand the categories better. We understand the requirement better. Example, simple for them, cement. Cement you buy in bags. You can't ask a consumer who's coming to buy cement how many kg or how many tons that you want. He buys in bags. So you're using the category nuances to enrich the data. So that is something that we're able to do significantly better than Google will do. Second, since you're also capturing a lot of information from the behaviors from the customer. An example of a behavior is that if I'm talking from a seller, an advertiser perspective, an advertiser when an advertiser comes on the platform, he'll say, hey, I want leads from Delhi, Bombay, and Chennai. But when you see the behavior, he's actually wanting leads only from Delhi, Lucknow, and Chandigarh because his probability of winning in those locations or his probability of getting the customer is higher. So you're also using a lot of the behavior data that you're building up to ensure that the right buyer gets the right seller. So that is how we are using the first party data. The second, on the AI bit that you're trying to answer, we use a lot of AI. We have seen our relevancy for a seller and a buyer go up significantly because of AI. But that being said, we are using a mix of a rule-based algorithm, a human algorithm, and human is still very good. A human intelligence-based work still does deliver a lot of good results, good ROI for any consumer, but an AI on top of it gives us the additional delta that you're looking for. So you're wanting the human You're wanting the AI, both coming together, and then you're putting an ensemble model at the back end, which decides based on some amount of probability that, hey, whether the human rule-based algorithm is a better way to direct the buyer to a seller, or a AI-based model to direct the buyer to a seller. So that's how we are trying to solve the problem. Right?
Interesting. Thanks. Thanks for that, Robin. Mayank, I'll come to you next, and Sushruth, I'll come to you after that. The question here, really, Robin talked about the scale of first-party data that is available and how it helps them. You're a part of the banking and financial services world, right? And the financial services folks have always been leaders in adopting technologies. You ask any technology firm around here, if there's a new technology, who's the first one to go to? The first people to go to are banks, NBFCs, insurance companies, because they are sort of, early adopters. So, but he also talked about that humans need to come in at a point, right? But how do you decide that where is it that here up to this point we should rely on AI, and here is when humans need to come in, and particularly given the fact that you are aware that AI beats human judgment at times, right? Because of the sheer data available. So how do you take that judgment that, okay, yahan tak AI pe rely karunga, iske aage, sorry boss, this doesn't make sense. I'm going to go, even if I'm risking the fact that I may be introducing my own bias and the advantages of AI, I may be, sort of leaving it on the table.
So basically, thank you for the question. Basically, we are using AI in very multiple parameters. Even we are adapting AI in every channels, like from leads to dispersal model, in our dispersal model. And where we are using lot of technical partners, as you said, that there are lot of technical partners just after us to, join a fintech company, onboard a fintech company. We are using some kind of analytics as well for, predictive audience creations through AI. But in that scenario, we are creating some audience where we have to check the conversions as well. If the conversion is going well, then it's your AI model is going well. If the conversion is, you are sorting in somewhere, just like basically Mr. Anuj was saying, the funnel that they are, creating for the entire sales, there are three or four funnels they are creating. We are also creating lot of funnels from starting to, at the dispersal point of view. So obviously, I am agree with that point that performance marketing is also should be, calculating through the last or end point of result. But yeah, we have to manage entire system from scale 1, scale 2, scale 3, everywhere in the funnel. So we have to manage entire scenario. In this, and as per your question, I'm saying if I am creating an audience from AI, then I have to measure entire conversion ratio. If conversion ratio is well, then definitely we are on the right choice. Because in our scenario, AI is only based on our data. Whatever data we are putting into the AI, then our model will work as per the basically data we are providing to the system.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Mayank, what you're essentially saying is that.
I want to add.
Yeah, please go ahead.
You can complete. I want to add my 2 cents actually. What Mayank said actually.
Okay, so Mayank, essentially what you're saying is, in the end, I look at the result, और अगर result ठीक है AI का, whenever I तब तक ठीक है. But in the end, if the results are not good, then I'll say, okay, let me bring in human intervention.
I was just adding the point from the Anu's perspective that the performance marketing is not just the end goal. You have to measure entire level, like tier 1, tier 2, whatever the level you are setting, whatever the funnel you are setting, you have to manage entire level. You cannot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Just in 30 seconds, because still need to.
So I think although AI is a buzzword and a lot of people, a lot of companies have started using, but definitely humans intervention is still required. When it comes to any strategic decisions, for example, the data, you can do a great data mining, data insights by using the AI tools. But the long-term vision, the short-term visions, the investments, the go-to-market, it's still been taken care by the humans. and same way, lot of personalization, for example, because AI still, I think, does not understand that nuances of how to use that data, though, and that's why humans are still plays a very important role in using that data effectively.
Right. So, Sushruth, I'll come to you. You have the unique perspective here because with cement, the life cycle of a sale is very, very long, right? And just before this, we were joking. I live in Mumbai, and I had dreamt about building my first home when I was 15, and I'm 41 today, and I'm still dreaming, right? So I have a 25-year-old life cycle, and it will be longer. I don't think in my lifetime I khud ka ghar, the way it is built in the rest of the country, bana paunga. So when life cycles are so long, right, and there is so much data, there are so many channels, there are so many touch points, how does AI or data help you actually attribute? Because attribution has been a perennial problem, right, in the performance marketing world. Even in shorter life cycles, it's a challenge. But in a life cycle, in a sales life cycle which is so long, how do you actually go about doing this?
Sure. So Devang, with our performance marketing, your dream will come true very soon.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah. So as someone who started marketing in the previous century, right, the word performance was never associated with marketing, right? You either had good marketing or very good marketing, right? Because things like measurability and conversion and sort of lead times and gestation periods were a matter of opinion, right? Now, coming back to and sort of as I think of your question, so one simple way that sort of I think of performance marketing is how does your brand move alongside the consumer through the consumer journey, right? The consumer will make his or her journey regardless. How does our brand help the consumer in moving through it, right? And that's when we look at the whole gestation period. And from a cement perspective, if I were to speak, look, the cement sort of funnel or the journey can last a lifetime, if not a couple of generations, right? So what's important for us is how do different parts of our marketing mix do not lose sight of each other, right? Like how our advertising and media does not get unconnected with our website and call center, and how does our website and call center not lose touch with our retail marketing and technical services effort, right? And therefore, bringing in the interconnectivity between all of the three is very important. We've kind of embarked on a full funnel marketing journey for the last 1 year or so. But let me give a couple of examples on how we try and ensure connectivity between different parts of our marketing mix, right? So when it comes to brand building, right, there's a huge sort of push we are doing in building Bangar Cement as a master brand. And in this election, we had a fairly big campaign which asked people to go and vote, right? And which was called Vote Solid, Desh Solid, because just as our cement gives a solid ghar, similarly, your vote will give a solid desh, right? So we had that campaign, but an important part of that was the call to action, where we had this vote ka vachan, where we asked people to come onto our website and onto our partners' websites and pledge to vote, right? And in just a few weeks before the elections, we got over 15 lakh people who registered their pledge. And for every pledge that they gave, we donated 1 kg cement for social welfare causes, right? Now that gave us a lot of first-party data. That really spiked the volumes on our website. That really brought in a lot of calls onto our call center, which we then, through our lead generation mechanism, right? We, on our website, they could actually look at our products, get a quote, get in touch along with the good work that our friends from India Mart were helping us do. our technical services teams, which is a whole body of civil engineers that we have, then reached out to them, right? So this is how we kind of maintained continuity. And the results were so encouraging that we've kind of now made it like a permanent feature of our campaign. So even when we had something a lot more targeted and topical, like during Diwali, where we again encourage people to go and build their homes. So people like you who are still in that dilemma, ki ghar banaye ki nahi banaye, we had this whole campaign of Asli Diwali Apne Ghar Wali, right? Where we said that celebrate Diwali with your loved ones in your own house. And we had a Ghar Ka Sankalp call to action, where they could come, take this Ghar Ka Sankalp, and those who did were then provided assistance through our sales team, through our dealers and our technical services. And again, building that cycle between awareness to consideration to conversion, so that one part of our marketing mix does not lose sight of the other, and all of them are in service with to the consumer through these longish consideration and gestation periods.
Right. Thanks, Sushruth. Very interesting. I don't know if do we have time for Q&A before we close out on this thing? Okay, so then I'll just a closing thought. We have limited time, but I'll just summarize. The great point we started off by when we asked Anuj. Great point that AI is relevant across the funnel, and not just across the funnel, even above it when it comes to strategy. So we discussed the point around first-party data, just how critical it is, particularly given the cookieless world. And Nishit, sort of came in with the point around how Google will still give you options. So it's not going away entirely, but building first-party data will be critical. I think from the financial services side, Mayank talked about how humans still need to play a role, and given that financial services is usually the leader in adopting technologies, there is still a human part to it. So we don't need to be fearful of artificial intelligence overlords just as yet. We are still the people in control. I think Robin talked about, again, first-party data, but also how other platforms, other than Meta and Google, can still have enough intelligence that that can be relevant and that can deliver good ROAS. And then finally, Sushruth talked about how to manage the longer sales cycles, attribution, the perennial problem ever since performance marketing has existed, and the bits that data can play a role, and the bits where still experience and wisdom plays a role. So I think it's a thank you very much to all the panelists for contributing, and thank you very much to the audience as well for listening to us patiently. Thank you very much.